Hi, my name is Dr. Pessimist. I'll be reviewing the case for your child. I heard that he needed a little bit of therapy. So I heard that you sent me some footage to my phone and I get to look at your child in his natural habitat. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it, okay? All right. We're gonna help this boy.
Twins.
Ooh, gummy vitamins.
We know how things work.
What the is?
Nobody speak, nobody can show.
Okay, I guess you got me. Look, I'm not really a therapist. I just really needed some easy clinical hours. I did not want to do all of that weird dental shit. You wouldn't believe the shit that people put in their mouths. I guess I got to do that. I'm not taking care of those fucking kids. They're crazy. They're out of their mind. Good Boys is a comedy distributed by Universal Films. It is directed by first-time director Gene Stupnitsky, and it is also produced by Seth Rogen, the ever-incomparable Seth Rogen, who's just putting his fingerprints in all kinds of projects. It's really cool to see. But let's get into Good Boys. I really hope that this review can be as fun as the movie was. You knew that this movie would be fun. You'd be watching the previews and you just knew that this movie could just be packed with more of that stuff. Unfortunately, this did have the inconvenience of over-promoting itself. I mean, it put out a bunch of hilarious trailers, and those trailers happen to be some of its best stuff. But the stuff that the trailer didn't show was the story, which was kind of surprisingly intact. I mean, they really didn't try to do too much with these kids, and thank God for it. They did what they needed to do. There was some really funny bits in here. I really think that it takes a while for you to really understand how clever it is trying to be. The name of it is Good Boys, and the naive nature of these guys is just very hilarious. But they take it a step further, and they put these kids in the most adult situations you can think. And when I say adult, I mean perverted. But surprisingly, this works out. I mean, they went to this over and over and over again, but for some reason, you never got tired of it. I guess deep down inside, we all want to look at these type of things that we into as adults from a kid's perspective. Let's get into some performances. I thought that the core three of this cast, they were all working, and they worked really well off each other. People really don't understand how important chemistry is. Chemistry, it transcends any age, and it was kind of evident in this one, thank God, because it was carrying this movie. You looked at a lot of supporting actors, and they were cool. I like Will Forte, but a lot of people really didn't know what to do with themselves because they didn't know how serious to really take this movie, which makes sense. This movie is really a parody of a childhood. I had a click, you had a click, we all had a click, and this was definitely its own click. I really like that this thing was no holds barred, man. They really didn't hold anything back when it came down to how mean it can be. Sometimes you could appreciate that, especially this one where a lot of times when it really was mean, it was mean with a purpose. I like the character arcs in this one, and when I say character arcs, I'm talking about the core three stars of this film. Some of their character arcs didn't stay as strong as I wanted them to, but it wasn't that important. The movie was just so fun. I was able to forgive them for a lot of stuff. It was a lot like that Shaft sequel. I just kept forgiving them. It was funny, on my podcast, I kept comparing this thing to Superbad, and it's not. I was really happy that it was so far from Superbad, because in this one, they pay so much attention to more characters. One little tidbit that I don't talk about in movies a lot, because it's just kind of not fair in the grand scheme of things. It's not really relevant to how good the movie is, but this soundtrack was dope. I was liking a lot of stuff that they was playing in here. And I don't know when did this start. I didn't know when soundtracks start standing out to me. I just watched this show called Wu Assassins, and the soundtrack was just blowing me away a lot more than the story, honestly. But I digress. As you see, this thing is sitting on Rotten Tomatoes at an 80%. You can tell that this thing is good, but it got its issues. But the thing about it is, those issues was never enough to take away anything. I kind of hinted at that earlier. Some parts of the story kind of dragged a little too long, and then some stuff was undeveloped. The ending of this movie might not have been necessary, honestly, but I think that they needed to do it in order to show growth with these characters. So for that reason, I'm able to forgive that too. But I really thought that this ending was a little rushed and unnecessary, but still, it kind of worked. So comedies don't make a lot of money. They never have and they never will. I predict that Coming to America 2 is going to make some bank, but hey, it took 20 years of organic waiting. It took 30 years of organic waiting for us to be ready for this sequel. I was hearing people on my way out of the theater talking about they're ready for a sequel. I'm not against that. That's fine. Bring the sequel on. But please, keep a lot of this same team. If you mess with the chemistry of this in any type of way, this thing could easily fall apart. This thing was about 2 scenes away from being a horrible movie, but it wasn't. I promise you it wasn't. And let's prove it, shall we? This thing is sitting at a pretty 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is great for a comedy, especially one as raunchy as this one. And sitting at an 88 with the audience, which is probably to be expected. I mean, again, if you get the audience to laugh, they will forgive you. They will love you. It does not matter. And it happened with this one. I'm not as high as an 88. I'm down there with the critics that got this thing at about an 82%. And that's because this thing is a great time. If anybody is just looking for a great time, you just want to kick back, relax, maybe have a few beers before you go to the movies and really enjoy this thing, it'll be a treat. I promise you that. Please like, comment, subscribe to the page. I'm going to keep bringing content to you. And you're going to probably keep not watching. They say this shit take years to build, and it's kind of annoying. But if you do subscribe, I love you. My name is Terrell Belive. This has been a Better Late review on Good Boys, and I'll see you on the next one.